Very exciting day for us as we celebrate the last 5 years of Enterprise Green Communities, and we're able now to look forward to our next 5-year commitment to make all affordable housing, new and existing, make it all green. So we're really excited, and thank you for joining us in this celebration and in the signaling of the next generation. And I'm joined today by Enterprise's Chief Executive Officers Doris and Charles Werhane, and also our partners who share our vision and really help make our success possible. We have our trustee, Jonathan Rose, president of Jonathan Rose Companies, Roger Platt, Senior Vice President of the United States Green Building Council, Ashok Gupta, who is the Energy Director for the Natural Resources Defense Council, and we have Kelly Caffarelli with us, who is the President of the Home Depot Foundation, Rip Rapson, the President of the Kresge Foundation, and we have with us today HUD Secretary Sean Donovan, so we're very excited to have you joining us in this historic day. I'm also honored to recognize the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's Deputy Administrator, Bob Percasepi, who is here with us today. So we are going to start with the program, but after our speakers, we will have the opportunity for questions and answers and a dialogue, and we look forward to getting to that point of the program. So with that, Doris, I'll ask you to come forward.
Thank you, Dana. Welcome, everyone. It's wonderful to see you all, and it totally is our honor to have you join us today as we both celebrate the last 5 years of work and recommit ourselves to what is the right thing to do for this country. So first, we have to start by thanking all of you. Our deepest thanks go to you, our partners, from the private sector, from the government sector, from the nonprofit sector. We are inspired by your support and your passion to create green, affordable housing and thriving and healthy communities. I want to touch on 3 points in my brief remarks today. How we began our journey, what we've learned along the way, and our call to action. So 5 years ago, in 2004, Enterprise set out to prove that we can cost-effectively bring the health, economic, and environmental benefits of green buildings to low-income communities across the country. We had no data to support this theory. We had a very strong conviction that it can be done and it must be done. 5 years later, thanks to all of you, we have demonstrated through action, advocacy, and data that green, affordable housing is possible, and that with the right strategy and the right set of tools, it will be a smart investment for everyone in this country. So thinking back, some of you were at the initial launch that we held at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. in 2004. We have never imagined that by putting forward a bold goal of $550 million to green 8,500 units, that we could come back today, almost to the day, 5 years later, to say we've exceeded our own initial bold goals. We actually invested $700 million and built and greened 16,000 units of affordable housing around the country. Thank you. Every building type, every region, every climate, every corner of the United States in both urban and rural communities. It's amazing, but we can't claim that it's our work. It is your work. It is the work and the confidence of the funders, some of whom are with us, and you'll hear later, Kresge and Home Depot and Living Cities and many others. But it is the development community and the environmental community and the policy advocacy community that latched on and said this triple bottom line goal is doable and must happen. So because of our work, we've actually convinced a lot of policymakers on the local, state, and national levels to use either the full enterprise green communities criteria or parts of as the way to guide them in resource allocation and set a new standard for how affordable housing should be built. And today, I wish I had picked up a booklet, but it's all out there. We're announcing the release of our first of its kind report to show the return on investment, the cost effectiveness of creating affordable housing that meets the enterprise green communities criteria. A little later in the program, you'll hear from Charlie Werhane on a corresponding commitment as we take on the next generation of green from enterprise. So what have we learned? You will read in this report that we started the journey on a hunch. We knew that to go to scale and get the mainstream financial and corporate sector to respond, to have enough demand to all want affordable green housing, we have to first collect substantive data and quantifiable results. The report that I mentioned, incremental cost, measurable results, measurable savings. I'm sorry, I should have picked up a copy of that book. There we go, Dana, thank you very much. That report is an attempt to deliver those results and the data. To answer some widely asked questions, how much will it cost to go green? Will the investment pay for itself? And how do we build green without compromising affordability? With the study, we now can say with confidence and precision that meeting the green communities criteria will only involve an additional investment of up to 2% of upfront development costs, while providing significant long-term cost savings, health benefits, and conservation of our natural resources. So from a very strict financial point of view, we can say with certainty that the investment fully pays for itself and then some. So in the report, you will see that the lifetime total utility savings of an average project is about $4,851, almost $5,000. And the savings totally outweigh the initial investment. But also, if you take into consideration the greenhouse gas emission reduction, we also found that we can save on the average of 2 tons of CO2 emission per home per year if you follow the green communities criteria. So these are just a few conclusions that add to a body of knowledge that we took pains to collect from actual practices on the ground. I want to cite a targeted study that we actually commissioned in Seattle, Washington, my hometown, in partnership with the Seattle Housing Authority. We wanted to measure the effect of living in green homes for low-income children with asthma. So for a modest additional upfront cost of $6,000, we built 60 Breathe Easy homes in partnership with Seattle Housing Authority at the High Point community, which is a Hope 6 transformation funded very generously by HUD. Those 60 homes were designed and built specifically to reduce moisture, toxins, allergens, and assure that there's an adequate airflow, whole house ventilation for each home. The results were absolutely stunning. In just 1 year, the children who moved into those homes who suffered from asthma reported a 60% increase in symptom-free days from asthma and a 67% decrease in emergency and urgent clinical runs. 60% of increase in symptom-free days, 67% reduction in emergency room runs. This finding is so significant that it wowed ourselves. When you think about the incidence of asthma being so prevalent among children who are low income, and when you think about the Center of Disease Control's figures that 1 in 4 emergency room visit nationwide is related to asthma-related diseases.